Hi guys, it's Darcy here for what will be my first ever attempt at a YouTube video, and the reason that I've actually decided to start making videos, or attempt to at least, is because of the amount of questions and whatever else that I've been getting on social media with regard to my time that I spent in Australia, as I've been there for a year from last February to this February on a working holiday visa, and I've just recently returned about 3 weeks ago for my second year visa. And I've been getting all sorts of questions about, how to plan, how to prepare, how much money you need to save, if you meet people there, where you meet people, and whatever else. And I thought perhaps it would be good to do a little series explaining what I did and giving people any hints or tips, as I know it would have been very useful for my first year here personally, and I've had heaps of interest of people that actually want to go. So if I can help everyone out in any way at all, that would be amazing. Okay, so in all honesty, my memory is absolutely shocking. So I've actually made a little list here of questions, well, hypothetical questions, and also questions that I've got, and my answer to them in order to actually help anyone out that would like to go to Australia themselves. So a first question would be, how do you even get started and where do you begin? Well, it seems daunting. You're going across the world to the complete other side of the world, especially if you're from England like me. I had a lot of people ask me for advice about how you even start, because it is a big thing. So you want to feel prepared, really. So personally, for my first time, I went through STA Travel, which was great for holding my hand at least. Especially if it's your first big world trip, you're unsure or uncertain, you don't quite know how to go about the visa or insurance or whatever else, and you just want to make sure that you're completely covered. So with SDA for 18 to 31 year olds, which actually is the required age width, I guess, that you can go to Australia on a working holiday visa with, for this age range at least, they can give you better deals on flights, for example. For when you're younger travelling, they sort out the important stuff. You just give them the dates that you want to go, and you save up the money in time for those dates, and whenever you're allocated to pay a certain amount, and they sort of organise all of that for you. So if you're going through STA, for myself, I was going at a non-peak time, which was at the end of February, which will be, sort of not a holiday in England, and also that it's coming out of the summer in Australia and going more into winter. And I needed to, overall, for STA, save £2,000 to cover the cost of all the important stuff. So this included my flights, my visa for the year, a multi-flex pass, which was £69, which meant I can change my flight up to 3 times. So that's on my return flight, which will be really useful. I mean, I didn't need it, but it would be really useful if you ran out of money early and you were completely stuffed. You could change your flight to whatever date you needed to at no extra cost, and just really save you from, being stranded in a foreign country with no money at all. I also, in that sum total of the £2,000, sorted out my travel insurance with SDA to cover me if I, got hurt over here or whatever else. You do get money off small doctor's appointments because you can get a reciprocal healthcare card over here. But it doesn't completely cover them, for example. So, if some big accident happen, God forbid, you will be completely covered and fine. It also covered my first 7 days in the Wake Up Hostel in Sydney, which I think averages out at about $40 a night, so roughly 20 odd pounds per night. They also helped me set up a bank account with Westpac, which is why actually going for SDA the first time really helped me out, because someone setting up a bank account in another country you know, is especially daunting. Like, you want to have your money when you get there. You don't have to faff around trying to open one up when you're there. So by doing it through STA, I had a Westpac bank account already open for me before I even got into the country. So that enabled me to be able to send my English money to my Australian account before I even landed here, which was very, very useful. They also gave us a free Opal card, which is like your Oyster card for New South Wales, that works in some areas of New South Wales, such as Sydney, which came with $20 already on it, which was lovely, and we went as a group within that first week to Manly Beach, which we used the Opal card to get a train and then a ferry across to, which was a really nice addition to paying for SDA to sort me out, you know. In addition to the $2,000, you're meant to have, like, it requires sufficient funds for you to even enter Australia. They suggest that you have £3,000 in your bank account. So, you know, you can, if you really can't save up and you know you've set up a job and you're going out to a job out there straight away, you could perhaps come out of less than this and you'd be quite comfortable. And, you know, you could borrow that money in case you're inspected from a friend or a relative until you've gone through customs. But I found that actually having this £3,000 on top of the £2,000 I saved to just cover the basic costs of things, the important things, it was really useful because it kept me afloat for a fair while until I actually found my first job, which was my farm work to get my second year visa, which I'll talk about later on. So, you know, it's really up to you on that and what you think is best for yourself. But, you know, having money always is a nice security blanket and, you know, it helps you from falling on your ass. If you don't save enough in time, or you know you're not going to save enough, and you want to look for a job before you get out there, you know, just so you don't have to worry. A website that I've actually found good in the past that I would suggest is Backpacker Job Board, because it has a list of different kinds of jobs. You can select the header for the type of job that you'd want, you know, whether that will be under hospitality or construction, or they also have a section which is handy if you want to come back for a second year, which is your second year visa jobs. And, you know, that's just really useful to have a look at to sort of soothe your mind and attempt to get a job before you arrive here, because there is an option on the website when you actually apply for jobs saying when you'll be in the country or be in the area, for example. The first job that I actually used the website for was for my second year visa, and it was to find a farm, which I did find in the end, a sorghum, wheat and chickpea farm in the Central Highlands in Queensland. But, you know, I'll do a whole other video about, you know, the second year visa, what it requires and everything else, and give a full explanation of that if you keep, you know, you keep watching and subscribe to my channel. Another thing that STA, you know, gave us an option to sort out before you got into the country was buying an Optus SIM card, which you'd then go to the kiosk at the airport to activate and get started on your phone. And this is a great idea in theory. It didn't happen to work out for us. We couldn't find the stand at the airport, for example, and it just got messed up, and then we had no internet or data and couldn't find an Optus store in Sydney. So perhaps you'd want to do that, or, you know, hold out until you actually got in the country, because myself personally now, I'm actually with Aldi Mobile, which they have over here in Australia, and where Optus didn't get signal in a fair few places across the country, with Aldi Mobile, they run on Australia's biggest network provider, Telstra's phone towers. So you can pretty much get that in most places across Australia, you know, unless you're really sort of out of the way. And at prices that are ridiculously heaps cheaper than, you know, similar mobile phone providers. So, one of my recommendations would be to look into getting an Aldi mobile SIM, which you just have to have address in Australia to get it sent to, or you go into an Aldi store and get the SIM there and then set it up online. So that's a really good idea of something to do beforehand. Also, it was very convenient, STA setting up the bank account for me through Westpac. But from experience now, since I've been here for a year and now I'm 3 months into my 3 weeks rather into my second, I would have personally preferred to have gone with Commonwealth, because Westpac, although it's the oldest bank in Australia, it's not as advanced up with technology, for example, as perhaps Commonwealth is, and people seem to get their money and their pay a lot quicker from Commonwealth. If you have Commonwealth and someone else has it, you can send money and it arrive in the bank account almost instantly. So it's all down to preference, and I had a Westpac account for the whole of my first year, and now only going into my second year, I've opened up a Commonwealth account and, transfer all my money over. So it's not the end of the world, but, if you're going to be picky and to point out favourites, that would be my preference now, is to go with Commonwealth. But for ease through STA, and it is a little bit daunting to wait until you're in the country to set up your bank account, it might be worth going with Westpac at least, for a short period of time. Okay guys, well, I'm coming to the end of my first trial out YouTube video of getting started in coming to Australia. I've already started to plan my next video, which is a video on what to bring with you when you're heading to Australia, because there's a few things that I wish people had actually told me before I came out. You have an idea of what it's like in your head, and then sometimes you don't have all of the clothes or things that you wanted or needed to bring, and then you're backpacking, so you might not have the money to get them when you're actually out here. So, subscribe and stay tuned if you'd like to see my next episode on my ideas of what, might be helpful to bring when you go to Australia yourself.